Ever since Trump became president, the liberal media has been incessant in their efforts to invent scandals that will get him impeached. One of their favorite fake narratives is to paint Trump as a sexual predator, where before the election, women were coming out of the woodwork with outlandish claims, suspiciously waiting for decades to drop their stories until the presidential race. Now Fox News' Sean Hannity has delivered an unbelievable bombshell about the women who made these sexual misconduct allegations against Trump, after promising several days ago that this latest scandal would tear the Democratic Party apart. Liberals never let the truth get in the way of a good story, and for months, we've witnessed the unbelievable lengths they will go to in order to get our president impeached. You'd think after being busted for their fake story about Trump peeing on Obama's bed with Russian hookers, that leftists would be more careful about the lies they weave. But given the fact that liberals only possess 3 functioning brain cells on average, they'll continue to make the same mistake again and again. Liberals have just been busted in another major whopper, as Hannity's investigation is uncovering that it was a California lawyer behind these fake Trump accusers' stories, where lawyer Lisa Bloom offered to pay these women off for their lies. Bloom not only got these women to lie to further this nasty sexual narrative about Trump, but compensated these women quite greatly, paying one woman's mortgage off, and securing a 6-figure payment to another. A well-known women's rights lawyer sought to arrange compensation from donors and tabloid media outlets for women who made or considered making sexual misconduct allegations against Donald Trump during the final months of the 2016 presidential race, according to documents and interviews. California lawyer Lisa Bloom's efforts included offering to sell alleged victim stories to TV outlets in return for a commission for herself, arranging a donor to pay off one Trump accuser's mortgage and attempting to secure a 6-figure payment for another woman who ultimately declined to come forward after being offered as much as $750,000, the clients told The Hill. The women's accounts were chronicled in contemporaneous contractual documents, emails and text messages reviewed by The Hill, including an exchange of texts between one woman and Bloom that suggested political action committees supporting Hillary Clinton were contacted during the effort. Bloom, who has assisted dozens of women in prominent harassment cases and also defended film executive Harvey Weinstein earlier this year, represented 4 women considering making accusations against Trump last year. 2 went public, and 2 declined. In a statement to The Hill, Bloom acknowledged she engaged in discussions to secure donations for women who made or considered making accusations against Trump before last year's election. Donors reached out to my firm directly to help some of the women I represented, said Bloom, whose clients have also included accusers of Bill Cosby and Bill O'Reilly. Bloom said her goal in securing money was not to pressure the women to come forward, but rather to help them relocate or arrange security if they felt unsafe during the waning days of a vitriolic election. She declined to identify any of the donors. And while she noted she represented sexual harassment victims for free or at reduced rates, she also acknowledged a standard part of her contracts required women to pay her commissions as high as 33% if she sold their stories to media outlets. Our standard pro bono agreement for legal services provides that if a media entity offers to compensate a client for sharing his or her story, we receive a percentage of those fees. This rarely happens, but, on occasion, a case generates media interest and sometimes, not always, a client may receive an appearance fee, she said. It's absolutely startling the lengths that these nasty Trump haters will go to in order to get him removed from office. There's already liberal morons calling for Trump's impeachment over these false allegations, as they see how successful these tactics worked to destroy Roy Moore's Senate race bid. One of Moore's accusers was Beverly Young Nelson, the ex-waitress who charged that Moore groped her when she was 16 and he was in his 30s. And used her high school yearbook bearing Moore's signature as proof that she knew him. Even though Nelson would be busted for plagiarizing the yearbook entry, liberals still used the woman's false testimony as a way to push the narrative that Moore was a sexual predator. Despite the barrage of fake news, traitors infiltrating his administration, and half the country working to get him impeached, President Trump is still kicking ass and fulfilling his campaign promises to make America great again. Be sure to help expose this lie about our president and share this story. Knowledge is power.